Kumpulan video ini milik Pak Tony Leggett, seorang pembaca atau ahli garis tangan. Jadi silahkan tonton video fullnya di YouTube channel beliau ya. Terima kasih. Selamat menonton Paganers.
But the power here is that he's interested in life. He wants to know about everything. His fingers, the fingers are a little bit pointed, so it does mean he's easily influenced in a lot of ways, so he should be careful. Somebody may get him into trouble with so much influence. He has his thumbs, which are very, very powerful in so many different ways, and he could have an ego if he really wants it to make things happen. And I think he's in the right business. I think he will be doing producing and directing down the line because he's got this feeling about something. The finger of Mercury is very, very pointed, and that indicates he could be good in making commercials or business abilities. It really shows coming out of this hand here for him in the future. So I see him making money, I see him doing very well, and I see him being liked very much by a lot of people, but there'll be jealousy around him. Well, Daniel, I think he could well get carried away with himself. He could have a very, very strong ego and know what he really, really wants, and he could go after it. He could just do damage to other people because he's got this killer instinct. And I don't mean physically killer. I want to get what I want to get, and I'm going to get what I want to get when I get it. And he's got his own logic. He does what he wants to do. He has to watch honesty. If he's dishonest, if he does damage to people, he's going to have to pay for it. So he should be careful. Around the age of 40, he changes everything and goes into something completely different, but he doesn't tell me what. But the hand is a square hand, a hard-working hand, a solid hand. These fingertips has a lot to do with easily influenced. But I don't think it's just he is easily influenced. He likes to influence other people. I think that's where his power is, and that's what he uses to get along. And he's okay. He's a good guy, but he just has to be careful with sticking with truth and not letting people cheat. Wow. Look at these fingers. Now, when you've got these knuckles and you've got these in the finger here, it's always a challenge. The challenge in the mental, the challenge in the talent in fate, and the challenge in self. So his mind is all over the place most of the time. He has a difficulty in bringing it all together. But there is a good line of bed, which he uses a lot and analyzes a lot, works a lot, especially coming out of the finger of Mercury, which is the understanding of life itself and understanding other people. And when it comes to his talent, he is always changing his mind about what he wants to do, what he wants to be, and everything. So some of these blocks are advantageous because it puts you on a different road, it puts you on a different way of thinking, it puts you on a different way of being. Because it's logic and it's the passion of being the scene that helps work for him in many, many ways. I don't like these rings on here, they will be blocking. We've already got blocks, you don't need any more blocks. So I should take off the rings and wear bracelets. I can only read the flat palm of the thumb. I can't read the back of the hand. They tell me nothing. He shows that he's a kind guy and he wants to help people and do things for people. There's a low set fund, so he's lived a lot of lifetimes. So he's learned this in different incarnations. That means that he's full of himself. Now this doesn't mean that he's big-headed or too cocky or whatever. It means that he's confident of himself. He knows who he is. He's very strong and very powerful. The line of life is very insecure at this time. It doesn't mean he's in danger or anything. It means that he's not being his true, powerful self. Anybody with a true positive attitude in life, he has a square hand, which means that he's a very strong worker and he's conventional in so many different ways. He makes a good father, good husband, and he's always got ideas. He always wants to do things. But he also should be careful because it could bring scattered thinking towards him and he could get into trouble if he's not careful about picking the right thing. All in all, I guess he's a very, very nice guy and he can be successful at whatever he works at, but he's got to work hard at it. Well, here's a guy that likes himself, and he should, because he's got a lot going for him. He has a beautiful line of heart, so he's going to know how to love. He's got a good line of head, so he's going to know how to think. He's going to be thinking right. Now here's the man. He's got a male ego. He's going to like women. He's going to like sex. He's going to like all sorts of different things. And he has to be careful what he creates, because what he creates could get him into trouble in many, many different ways, especially if he goes into business or starts doing something that's illegal that he feels tempted with. But he's going to be a big success with a lot of ladies, and he's going to go very, very far as long as he stays true to himself and he lets the sunshine glow through him and show his talent the way it is. Speaking of Saturn, which is the answer to everybody's prayer, it's the reason you're on this earth, the reason you're doing what you're doing, and the joy that you give. You give a lot of joy to a lot of people, young man. Keep giving the joy to the people and you'll be alright, but keep your ego out of the way. Well, he has some signs of success in his hands. His first finger tells me that he's got a lot of power, especially when it comes to ambition and leadership. He could well be somewhat surly in his manner of being, because he's two people and he comes into being one person and changes every day. Is sort of a different person, so that's difficult. And this gives him a lot of loyalty, but he's loyal to himself. But there's also a finger coming out here of Saturn that shows he will be successful. He's got a good mind. I think he's got a lot of power when it comes to his sexuality. The finger of Apollo here tells me that he has past life experiences because he's lived quite a few lifetimes. But he's very sensitive, he's very touchy. He also could be very nice, he can be a charmer, but I also see him leading and getting carried away in his own business and bad eventually. Well, here's a guy with very long fingers. The Mercury fingers and both hands are slightly bent, which means that this guy lives on fantasy land and he doesn't always live on truth. I think he's probably very interested in sex, but it's a mental aspect of his way of being, and there's a lot of things that goes on here that he likes to manipulate and control. Finger of Apollo here on both hands, which is a very powerful finger. That's talent. And so the guy's very, very talented in everything that he does, but he likes freedom, he likes the air, he likes to be out there and experience, and he also likes blue air. So he also likes a lot of things going for him. So this little finger, a pinky finger, could get him into trouble if he's not careful if he goes off on the wrong track. Definitely stay away from drugs, definitely stay away from alcohol, and he should really, really stay strong in the talent. A special shape arm, which indicates his unpredictability, that he can change his mind from time to time. And he can make a good salesman, he could sell anything to anybody if he really, really wanted to. Depends what his product was. So if he keeps into his music and he works hard with it, I see him being very successful and a lot of other people being around him and having a big following just because of who he is.